So we have our buzzsaws and we have our flowers. Did you know we can do the two things at the same time? Goodness, that's the topic of today's tutorial. Drex here from DrexFactor.com, teaching you poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain during the COVID-19 quarantine. And today we are putting together two of the most popular types of poi tricks to create a new chimera. Before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Flow Toys, Pyroterra Light Toys, LMF Props, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all of these awesome companies and the work that they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links that I've got down in the description of this video. So today I'm going to give you what's going to be the first of two videos that are going to be kind of remixes slash mashups of some things that we've already played around with that don't really require you to take that long a walk in order to get there and everything, but still look pretty cool in and of themselves. Buzzsaw flowers are one of those things that I feel like is a really good stepping stone to starting to learn things like poi hybrids and everything, and you could argue even that they are poi hybrids in themselves, depending on how you want to look at it. But either which way, they kind of introduce the idea that the hands and the poi can be doing two different things with the timing and direction. And of course, if you want to make sure that you have all of the prerequisites that are going to be helpful for this lesson, you definitely want to know your timing and direction combinations, as well as it would probably help to understand the basics of both inspin and anti-spin flowers. And it might help to know fountains as well. I'll link to all three down in the description. Okay, so the first thing to keep in mind about buzzsaw flowers is that there's kind of this idea inherent in them that we're going to start mixing up timing and direction. You know, the flowers that we've played with thus far, whether they be in-spin or anti-spin, have all worked in such a way that the hands in poi have been doing the exact same thing when it comes to timing and direction. And we're going to start to change that. Namely, we are going to have our poi spinning in split time same direction as our hands move around in together same. This is one of those times where the term fountain can be appropriate, because when we think of buzzsaws, we don't normally think of them as being flowers. And so fountains wind up being that way, that we apply the idea of flowers to something that really kind of is maybe a flower. It's sometimes hard to tell. So let's first take a look at the in-spin version of this, because it's probably going to have a more gentle learning curve to it. Namely, we're going to start off with, this isn't actually really a buzzsaw. If you look down the side of it and everything, I have my right hand poi between my arms and my left hand poi on the outside. Really, in the grand scheme of things, it's just me keeping both poi in wall plane, but it just happens to be that my left hand is in front of my right hand, so it comes out looking like my right hand poi is between my arms. Now, there is definitely a variant of this flower that you can do where you are holding it in a buzzsaw the entire way around. You don't have to, though. It's one of those things that's kind of like bragging rights if you want to go down that route, but it's not necessary. What you're going to wind up doing here is, as you start with your left hand on the outside and everything, I want you to go ahead and have your left hand, after it passes by your midline, you're going to reach it around and do a beat over here. Your right hand is going to do a little beat down past your feet and then come over to your left, yeah? So the order that is, left hand, after the poi comes up your center line, goes around to your left-hand side, and your right-hand poi, coming from pointed out away from you, is going to come down and do a pedal near your feet, and then go over to your left-hand side, yeah? Okay, now over at your left-hand side here, it's going to feel either, depending on how you look at it, like your poi are spinning either reverse or clockwise. And again, we're going to be in that place where the left-hand poi is between your arms and your right-hand poi is in front. And you're going to go ahead and this time you're going to start with your right hand because it's in front. As it is pointed out away from you, you're going to take it up and over to do a pedal over top and then bring it out to the right. The left-hand poi, after it goes inward towards you, you're going to bring it around to do another pedal over to your left-hand side, yeah? I really want you paying attention to the fact that I'm having you with your left hand doing pedals off to the right and left, right and left, right and left, whereas your right-hand poi is doing pedals down and up, down and up. The pedals are not in the same spots for the two hands, and that's important. Cool, so let's think that we're going to do 3 beats on each side before transitioning through. Thinking 3, 2, 1, we have left hand go, then right hand, and we're over to the left. Then again, we do 3, 2, 1, we have right hand go, and then the left hand follows, yeah? really think that you're going to separate out your hands just a little bit as they're going from side to side here, yeah? Incidentally, if you want something to play around with right now that is going to be a little bit less challenging than getting the full buzzsaw flower, you can always have your poi move individually and just hang out for as few beats as possible on either side. That is, have the left go and the right catch up, the right go and the left catch up. This in itself is actually a pretty cool looking pattern. The only downside to it is it doesn't put the flower petals exactly where we want them to be. That is, both of them are doing flowers on the sides. But it is still pretty cool, and you know, if you've got the first part of this, you can probably already do this. So our next challenge now is that we need to try and keep the two hands together going all the way around. The way I usually like to think of this is that I'm kind of thinking of my left hand is just doing an extension across the bottom and my right hand is doing the pedal. And then when I get to the side, the left hand has its opportunity to do the pedal. I'll think again, right hand does the pedal as the left hand goes over top. It's almost like kind of walking them in split time, same direction across the top here, yeah? I want to make sure that they are always pointed away from each other. It's a little bit easier on the top here because I can think that I'm just dropping my right hand poi down the midline as my left hand is reaching over it. It's a little bit more challenging on the bottom though, because I'm kind of almost trying to stall the right poi straight up as my left hand poi reaches straight down beside it like that, yeah? And of course, you can do that thing where we spend about 3 beats getting ourselves psyched up for each side, thinking 3, 2, 1, go around, 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 yeah? And then work your way down to 2s, thinking 2, 1, go, 2, 1, go, 2, 1, go, 2, 1, go. And of course, the magic happens when we get down to being able to do just 1 beat on each side. There, we wind up just being able to go from side to side to side to side, and hopefully be able to keep the pattern complete as we're going around, yeah? Again, the trick here is to try and maintain your split time consistently all the way around, thinking that right points up, right points down, right points up, right points down, right points up, right points down, right points up, right points down. And if you can keep the timing the same all the way around, you're going to find that the left hand is automatically doing a pedal on each side. And just to give you a good visualization for this, I'm going to show you it in slow motion with an overlay of what these flowers look like so you can get a good feel for it, yeah? Cool, and now we got to learn how to do this same thing in anti-spin, which honestly I prefer. I think the anti-spin looks way cooler personally. So this is going to involve combining together what we would call a diamond mode anti-spin, where we have our 4 pedals pointing out at the 4 cardinal points, going against a box mode 4 pedal anti-spin, which we originally learned about, I believe, in our lesson about linear extensions, yeah? The good news is that this is one of those where the getting between the spots is a little bit more intuitive. So over here on the right hand side with our arms in split time, I want you to go ahead and just bring your left hand up and over, and then your right hand up and over. Then you're going to let your right hand drop and your left hand drop. Your left hand goes up and over, your right hand goes up and over. Your right hand drops, your left hand drops. And just like with the inspin pattern, there's a really cool one that you can get out of this one too. Left goes, right goes, right goes, left goes, left goes, right goes, right goes, left goes. Pretty cool, right? But now our mission is to try and see if we can close the gap between the two of them. That is, rather than thinking left and then right, I want you to think left-right, that they both go over after each other, right? And then think, instead of right-left, we're instead going to go right-left across. Think left-right over, right-left down. Left, right, over, right, left, down, yeah? And again, we can do our countdown thinking 3, 2, 1, left, right, over, 1, 2, 3, right, left, under, 3, 2, 1, left, right, over, 3, 2, 1, right, left, under. And then work down 1, 2, left, right, over, 1, 2, right, left, under, 1, 2, left, right, over, 1, 2, right, left, under. And finally, of course, we just go all the way around, thinking Both over, both under, both over, both under. It may not be immediately apparent that there are two different kinds of anti-spin flowers at work here, but I'm going to go ahead and give you some slow-mo footage so you can see this in more explicit detail, yeah? Awesome. I really like these because they're an amazing transition tool, as well as the fact that they are going to come back around with what we learn tomorrow in ways that will really help us see how we can make timing and direction changes with our hands and have what the Poi are doing complemented in some really cool ways. In the meantime, I would love to see your version of this trick. Please post it to Instagram or Facebook and tag me. I am DrexFactor on Instagram and DrexFactorPoi on Facebook. Please post some videos to your Instagram stories and tag me, and I will repost them to mine so that all of my followers can see your hard work. I would also just like to give a huge shout out to Lanternsmith, the company that makes these Umoja contact poi that I've been using in almost all of my quarantine content tutorials. These have been my favorite contact poi for years now, not only because they're really resilient, but also because they have these cartridges inside that allow you to change the weight of the heads and allow you to swap out the tethers within a couple minutes. So they're really, really flexible. You can check those out over at lanternsmith.com and use the promo code DrexFactor with a 0 instead of an O at checkout to give yourself a 5% discount on a set of these. It also helps out the channel so we all win, yeah? Pretty please make sure to like, share, and subscribe so that other people can find these videos. I really want to grow the world of flow arts during the quarantine, and thus far it looks like we're off to a great start. You can help me out by doing your part and sharing them, yeah? If you are enjoying this series and getting to learn something new about Poi every single weekday during the quarantine, please consider signing up to support this work over at Patreon, like all these nice folks did. Patreon has been the cushion that has allowed me to have a soft landing during one of the craziest times in my life, and indeed probably it's going to turn out in human history. So if you have the means, and I totally understand if you don't, but if you do, please consider signing up to support this project over at patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi. You can get early access to all of my content, as well as a say in what topics I pursue in the future, as well as occasionally getting some behind the scenes content and some other cool rewards, yeah? Go check that out, please and thank you. Alrighty then, so tomorrow I'm going to be giving you all just a little bit of flow as I take a one-day break, but I will be back on Thursday to teach you, that's right, your very first hybrid. I can't wait, and I hope you can't either. I'll see you then. Peace.